I need to tell you a story about three women who are changing the entire culture of figure skating and honestly changing how we think about competition in sports. Their names are Alysa Liu, Amber Glenn, and Isabeau Levito. And they call themselves the Blade Angels. Now you might be thinking, okay, cute nickname, whatever. But this goes so much deeper than that. Because these three women were supposed to be enemies. They were competing for the same 3 Olympic spots on Team USA. Only 3 women get to go to the Olympics. And there were more than 3 incredible skaters fighting for those spots. So statistically, at least one of them should have been left behind. Should have been devastated. Should have resented the others. That's how figure skating has always worked. It's cutthroat. It's brutal. Past Olympians have described the tension as unbearable. Coaches pit skaters against each other. Parents fight in the stands. Everyone's comparing themselves to everyone else. And it destroys friendships. But Alysa, Amber, and Isabeau decided they weren't going to do that. They decided that even though they were competing against each other, they were going to be friends. Real friends. Not fake for the camera's friends. And that decision is literally changing the sport. So let me tell you their story from the beginning, because by the end you're gonna understand why the Blade Angels might be the most important thing to happen to figure skating in decades. Let's start with who these 3 women are, because they couldn't be more different. Alysa Liu is 20 years old from the Bay Area, California. She's the comeback kid. Retired at 16. Came back after 2 years off. Just won Olympic gold in the team event. She's got the striped tree ring hair. The nose piercing. The punk rock vibe. She doesn't fit the traditional figure skating mold, and she doesn't care. She's outspoken about politics and immigration and mental health. She quit because she was burned out and then came back on her own terms. That's Alysa. Then there's Isabeau Levito. She's only 18 years old. The baby of the group. From New Jersey. East Coast energy. She's the rising star. The prodigy. She won silver at the World Championships last year. She's incredibly talented. Incredibly driven. And she's funny. Like genuinely hilarious. She went viral during the Olympics for saying about the Olympic Village, "You can't evict me." Just random funny comments that make everyone laugh. She's got this wit and charm that's rare in figure skating, where everyone's usually so serious and polished. And then there's Amber Glenn. She's 26. From Texas. She's the veteran. The one who's been grinding for years. She's competed at nationals over and over. She's dealt with injuries. She's dealt with disappointment. She finally made her first Olympic team this year at 26, which is considered old for figure skating. Most women peak in their late teens or early 20s. But Amber kept pushing. Kept believing. And she made it. 3 women. 8 years age difference between the oldest and youngest. 3 completely different parts of America. 3 completely different personalities. 3 completely different skating styles. And somehow they became best friends. Here's how it happened. These 3 have been competing against each other for years. They see each other at competitions. At training camps. At nationals. And in figure skating there's this unspoken rule that you don't get too close to your competitors. Because how can you be genuinely happy for someone who just beat you? How can you cheer for someone when their success means your failure? But somewhere along the way Alysa, Amber, and Isabeau started breaking that rule. They started talking to each other. Encouraging each other. Celebrating each other's successes. And when all 3 of them made the Olympic team, they decided to make it official. They wanted a team name. A nickname that represented their bond. So they voted on it. They literally sat down and threw out ideas and voted democratically. Some of the options that got rejected. Powerpuff Girls. Too childish apparently. Babes of glory. Too cheesy. Ice queens. Too predictable. And then someone suggested blade angels. And it stuck. Blade because of the skate blades. Angels because they lift each other up. And just like that, the blade angels were born. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's cute, but so what? Here's the so what. Figure skating has a toxic culture problem. And it has for decades. Former Olympians have spoken openly about how brutal it is. How isolating. How the constant comparison destroys mental health. Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding is the most famous example. That rivalry got so intense that Tanya's ex-husband literally had Nancy attacked to try to take her out of competition. That's how bad it can get. But even in less extreme cases, the culture is rough. Skaters describe training environments where coaches favor one skater over another. Where parents whisper about other kids. Where your teammates secretly hope you fail because it means they succeed. And that takes a toll. A lot of skaters develop eating disorders. Anxiety. Depression. They quit the sport they love because the environment is so toxic. And for years that's just been accepted as part of figure skating. The price you pay for excellence. But the Blade Angels are saying no. We can be excellent and kind. We can compete and still be friends. We can want to win without wanting others to lose. And that's revolutionary. Let me give you a specific example of how different they are from previous generations. In interviews, all three of them talk about how much they genuinely love and admire each other. Alysa has said multiple times, "I love Isabeau's wittiness. She's the funniest person I've ever met. I love watching her skate. She has this artistry that's so unique. That's not fake. You can hear the genuine affection in her voice." Isabeau has said, "Alysa is my inspiration. Watching her come back after retirement and land that quad axel and dominate made me believe I could do it too. She's shown me you don't have to fit the mold. You can be yourself and still be the best." And Amber, who's the oldest, has talked about how much she's learned from the younger two. How their fearlessness pushed her to take more risks. How their friendship made this Olympic journey so much more fun than it would have been alone. They're not just tolerating each other. They're not just being polite for the cameras. They genuinely love each other. And you can see it in how they interact. At the team event, when Alysa won gold in her individual skate, Amber and Isabeau were screaming louder than anyone. Jumping up and down. Crying tears of joy. Not tears of jealousy. Joy. Pure joy that their friend succeeded. And that's what makes them special. Now let's talk about what happened yesterday, because this is where the story gets really interesting. Yesterday was the women's short program. The first part of the individual competition. All three Blade Angels competed. And the results were mixed. Alysa Liu skated third. She landed a triple axel, which is her signature jump. She skated clean. Strong. Confident. Her score came up. 76.59. A season best. She was in first place. The crowd went crazy. But then other skaters competed. And by the end of the night, Alysa was in third place. Still on the podium. Still in medal contention. But not first anymore. She's 2 points behind first place. 2 points. That's one small mistake. Or one perfect skate. So going into the free skate tomorrow, Alysa has a real shot at gold. She just needs to skate clean. Isabeau Levito competed later in the night. She had a rough skate. She fell on her triple axel. Stepped out of another jump. Her score was lower than she wanted. She finished in 8th place. Not out of medal contention completely, but she'd need a miracle in the free skate. And Amber Glenn. Amber had the toughest night. She fell on her opening jump. A triple Lutz. That set the tone. The rest of her program was okay, but that fall was costly. She finished in 13th place. So now going into the free skate tomorrow, the Blade Angels are spread across the standings. Alysa in 3rd with a legitimate shot at gold. Isabeau in 8th hoping to move up. Amber in 13th hoping to crack the top 10. And here's what's beautiful. After the short program, all 3 of them were interviewed. And not one of them talked about being disappointed in their own placement. Alysa talked about how proud she is of Isabeau and Amber. Isabeau talked about how excited she is to watch Alysa fight for gold. Amber talked about how all 3 of them are gonna leave everything on the ice tomorrow. There was no jealousy. No resentment. Just support. That's the Blade Angels. Now let me tell you why this matters for the future of figure skating. Because what Alysa, Amber and Isabeau are doing is creating a blueprint. They're showing young skaters that you don't have to be enemies with your competitors. That collaboration doesn't make you weak, it makes you stronger. And other skaters are already following their lead. At this Olympics, you're seeing more friendships between skaters from different countries. More genuine celebration when someone lands a great jump. More hugs and a kiss and cry. The Blade Angels are shifting the culture. And it's not just about being nice. It's about mental health. Studies show that athletes perform better when they have strong social support. When they're not isolated. When they don't feel like everyone around them is an enemy. So by being friends, by building each other up, the Blade Angels are actually helping each other skate better. They're proving that kindness and excellence can coexist. And that's changing everything. There's also this generational element. Amber is 26. Alysa is 20. Isabeau is 18. 8 years between the oldest and youngest. And in figure skating, that's a huge gap. Normally, the older skaters resent the younger ones for threatening their spot. And the younger ones dismiss the older ones as past their prime. But not the Blade Angels. Amber has embraced her role as the veteran. She's mentoring Isabeau. Sharing what she's learned. And Isabeau and Alysa look up to Amber. They see her perseverance and it motivates them. Age isn't a divider for them. It's an asset. They're learning from each other across generations. And that's rare. Really rare. The free skate happens tomorrow. February 19th. And the Blade Angels are gonna compete for the last time at these Olympics. Alysa is 2 points away from gold. All she has to do is skate clean. Land her jumps. Show the world what she's capable of. Isabeau and Amber have longer odds. They'd need perfect skates and mistakes from others to medal. But anything can happen in figure skating. One fall can change everything. One perfect program can move you up 5 spots. So tomorrow is wide open. And regardless of where they finish. Regardless of who gets medals and who doesn't. The Blade Angels have already won. They've already changed the sport. They've proven that women don't have to tear each other down to succeed. That you can be competitive and compassionate. That friendship doesn't make you weak. And young skaters watching them are taking notes. They're thinking, maybe I don't have to be mean to my competitors. Maybe we can all win together. That's the impact. That's the legacy. The Blade Angels are showing the world a better way. So there you have it. 3 women. 3 different stories. 3 different styles. But one unified friendship. The Blade Angels. Alysa Liu, Amber Glenn and Isabeau Levito. They were supposed to be rivals. But they chose to be sisters. And in doing so, they're changing figure skating forever. Tomorrow they skate. Tomorrow we find out if Alysa gets gold. If Isabeau can move up. If Amber can finish strong. But win or lose, they've already made history. Not because of their medals, but because of their friendship. Because they showed us that sports can be different. That competition doesn't have to destroy relationships. That women can lift each other up instead of tearing each other down. The Blade Angels are the future. And the future looks beautiful. Make sure you watch the free skate tomorrow. Make sure you cheer for all three of them. Because this is bigger than skating. This is about changing culture. Changing how we treat each other. Changing what it means to compete. The Blade Angels are leading the way. And we're all better for it. Peace.